my name is Ashley Greenwald. I'm a registered dietitian here at Johns Hopkins Bayview. Thank you for joining me today to talk about hunger, craving, and mindful eating. What is physical hunger? Physical hunger is a strong desire for food that is biologically driven. It's typically a result of not having eaten for several hours. And some symptoms that we may feel are feelings of emptiness, some stomach pains, feeling like you suddenly have no energy, feeling a little lightheaded or like you have a headache, and feeling irritable. Typically, these symptoms will remain until you eat something, and then the symptoms will go away. Hunger can influence a person's ability to lose weight. It's important to listen to your body and don't let yourself get to the point where you feel ravenous or so hungry, which can often lead to impulse eating and overconsumption. It's good to rate your hunger on a scale of 1 to 10 and your fullness before, during, and after meals and snacks. If we rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being so hungry you'll eat anything, and 10 being you're so painfully full you feel sick. A good number to stay between is between a 4 and a 7. So let's talk about this, and this can help us make some healthy food choices and control portions. A 4 is you could kind of start yourself feeling hungry and it's time to think about what to eat. You may have eaten breakfast and it's coming up on lunchtime, so we might start feeling that way, and that would be a 4. A 5 would be once we start eating lunch. We're a couple bites into our meal, those feelings of hunger are gone, but we're not full. 6, you feel just right. You're satisfied, but you could easily eat a little bit more. Maybe we just have a fruit that's in our lunch bag that we could eat that. And 7 is you're totally satisfied. Your hunger is gone and you're not going to feel hungry again for hours. So think about this hunger scale, and it's good to stay between that 4 and 7. And let's not allow ourselves to get to that 1, so hungry, or that 10, we're so painfully full, we're sick. How can we go about doing this to promote healthy food choices? Avoid skipping meals. Even if it's something small, eat something to help prevent us to getting to the point that we become so ravenous we'll eat anything. Establish a meal pattern at least 3 times a day. However, you've got to take a look at your lifestyle and your day and what works best for you. If, let's say, your lunch break is at noon, and then you don't get home in the evening till about 6 or 7 for dinner, that's too long of a period of time to go without food. It might be good for you to have a meal in between there. Listen to your body and don't let ourselves get too hungry. Choose solid foods over liquid, and maybe sit down to start a meal with a salad or a broth-based soup to help get us closer to that 5 or 6 range before we eat the meal to help prevent us from over-consuming. And at meals, make sure we include a protein and a fiber to help balance out our meals. Some good protein examples might be meats or poultry or fish or eggs, dairy, beans, lentils, and soy. And some fiber examples are fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Incorporating all of these at meals can help us lead to feeling full and satisfied. How will physical hunger and fullness change after surgery? Take a look at the right of your screen. At the top is a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass procedure, and on the bottom is the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Both procedures offer food restriction. With the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, your surgeon will create a stomach roughly about the size of an egg. With this vertical sleeve gastrectomy, your surgeon will create a new pouch about the size of a banana. Both of these procedures, an egg-sized stomach and a banana-sized stomach, fill up very quickly, and you're full very quickly, and you can't hold a lot of food. There's also favorable changes in our gut hormones. Our stomach secretes hormones that make us feel very hungry and very full. Following bariatric surgery, these hormones change. We don't feel quite as hungry. These hormones, now that they're changed, they suppress our hunger, they reduce our appetite, they improve satiety or the feeling of fullness and satisfaction, and they control our cravings. You may not feel the symptoms of physical hunger initially. They may come back over time, but initially it's important to make sure you're following the pattern that the dietitian and you go over on your individual visit to help prevent any deficiencies and help you to lose the weight you want to lose. The other change after bariatric surgery is a new feeling of fullness. You will no longer feel that bottom stomach expand fullness feeling. Your new feeling of fullness is more in your upper stomach, lower chest, and it should be more of an abdominal pressure versus the pain. If it's a pain, you may have eaten too much or eaten too quickly. In your handout, there's an ask yourself. Ask yourself, am I physically hungry when I eat? If I'm not physically hungry, why do I eat? Take a couple minutes to review that. Let's transition to what is a craving. Cravings are different from hunger. A craving is an intense urge to eat a specific food even after a meal. How can you tell the difference between physical hunger and cravings? Physical hunger, we establish, builds gradually, maybe a couple hours after eating, whereas a craving suddenly develops suddenly. Physical hunger is stomach pains or feeling of emptiness, whereas craving, we might mentally imagine how a food may look or taste or smell. Physical hunger occurs several hours after a meal, whereas a craving might be unrelated to time. It may occur right after a meal. Physical hunger will go away once we're full, whereas cravings will persist despite fullness. And physical hunger, once we consume food, it leads to feeling of satisfaction, versus a craving may lead to guilt and shame. There's an apple exercise that we could try to help us distinguish between physical hunger and a craving. If you feel that you're hungry, take a look or imagine an apple or another healthy fruit and ask yourself, will that apple satisfy me? If the answer is yes, it might be hunger. If the answer is no, it may be a craving. It's a good exercise to practice. What are some things that could trigger a craving? Cravings are triggered by something internal or external that has nothing to do with the body's need for food. Some examples might be the sight or smell of food. For example, TV commercials, or seeing someone else eat something, or driving in the street and seeing a restaurant or a billboard. The smell might be cookies baking or popcorn popping in the break room. Seasons and holidays can definitely be triggers for foods. Around Christmas, it might be a specific cookies that are being baked around that time, or around Easter. There might be certain things out on the market. Social media, every time we're scrolling through our social media, things pop up, some new recipes or some advertisement for a new food, which will trigger a craving, as well as advertising and marketing. A lot of times there's deals at the store, 2 for the price of 1, or, make it a combo. These are things that could definitely trigger some cravings, and as well as emotions, stress, or physical cravings. There could be a stress eating, or if we're having a bad day, or if we're celebrating. These are all things that could be triggers for our cravings. So take a couple minutes and ask yourself, what triggers my cravings? Of some of these we just talked about, are there any of these that might trigger some cravings for you? Here's a scenario that can help us identify some triggers and maybe places that we could intervene. So we decide to go to the movies. So you pick a movie, you drive to the movie theater. As soon as you open the door for the movie theater, straight ahead is the counter for the concessions. And then as soon as you open the door, the first thing you smell is popcorn. So you decide you're going to go over and buy the popcorn. And the woman behind the counter says, let's make it a combo. Let's add a soft drink and a larger amount for $1 more. So we go with the combo. During the movie, we're consuming the popcorn and the soft drink, but we're paying attention to the movie, which can lead to overeating about 1,000 calories. And at the end of it, when we look down and everything's gone, we may have feelings of guilt and dissatisfaction. So in this scenario, what are some triggers that we see? Maybe as soon as we walk into the theater, seeing and smelling the popcorn. Maybe when the woman behind the counter said, can we make it a combo, and we added a soft drink? These are definitely triggers for cravings. And where are some places that maybe we can intervene? Maybe we could eat a meal before we go to a movie so we're comfortably satisfied and we just avoid the concessions. Or when we go over, we could purchase maybe a small popcorn versus a large and avoid the combo. These are some places that we can intervene. As far as coping mechanisms to help deal with cravings, How can I deal with these triggers so that I do not eat when I'm not physically hungry? Over the next few slides, we're going to go over with some coping mechanisms to help deal with these cravings. One of the first ones is to understand what's triggering your cravings. Explore your minds, your thoughts, your body, and your feelings, and let's address the trigger, not the craving. For example, are we tired? Maybe we could take a nap or get some rest. Are we bored? We could do something to keep us busy, make a list, play board games, practice an instrument, read, work on a puzzle, take a walk. Seek support. Call a friend or text a friend or a family member, which can help offer you some support to help you get you through the craving. Tell others, share your goals with your close-knit, with your support, with your friends and family. Or join a support group, either in person or online, and seek support from them. And then reach out to your healthcare provider, whether it be your dietitian, your nurse practitioner, your surgeon. Reach out and we can try and help you come up with some techniques to help deal with the cravings. Another exercise we could practice is redirecting our thoughts. Try imagining a series of non-food scenes that might help eliminate a craving. Maybe we could think about our favorite destination spot, or we could think about a favorite movie that we've seen that might help redirect our thoughts from the craving. Or try smelling a non-food aroma, which may help redirect our thoughts as well. With all the essential oils, we could try lavender or eucalyptus, things that could help take our mind away from our food craving. We can make sure that we keep ourselves hydrated. Often dehydration can make us feel hungry, and we might feel that we're hungry, but we're really thirsty. Let's make sure we're aiming for about 64 ounces and more of water per day. And if it's not water, let's make sure it's a non-carbonated beverage that has less than 10 calories per serving, caffeine-free. Try to eat every few hours and avoid skipping meals. Often a drop in blood sugars can lead to these cravings. And let's not get ourselves too hungry that we might make these impulse food choices. If we make sure that we avoid skipping meals, we can make some healthy food choices. And let's not forget about physical activity. Physical activity can be used to replace mindless eating due to boredom or stress. It helps boost mood and happiness, and it also can help redirect our thoughts about food. So ask yourself, of these coping strategies, what are some that I already use? And are there new strategies that I would like to try to help deal with coping with the cravings? So cravings are just one reason why we might eat mindlessly, but there are several reasons why we eat mindlessly. So what is mindless eating? Mindless eating is eating without a focused awareness of what you are consuming or how much is being eaten. Mindless eating can leave you feeling unsatisfied with your food intake. Mindless eating can be influenced by many things. Where you eat. Do we eat in front of the TV? Do we eat in public? Research shows that eating in front of a TV often leads to a higher BMI. Do we eat in our car? What about the size of our dinnerware? Often the more food that's in front of us, the more we eat. So if we shrink up our dinnerware, we might eat less. Distractions. Are we on the phone? Are we working? Are we reading? Are we using the computer? Are we multitasking? Are we focusing on everything other than the food in front of us? What about the visibility from food? The more food, does our kitchen counter at home have more snack foods versus fruits and vegetables? And that often could lead to mindless eating, just grabbing something when you come in the kitchen or grabbing something on the way out. And the distance food is from you. People sitting next to a candy dish at work will typically eat more of the candy than someone who's not sitting next to the dish. There was a study conducted at Cornell University by Brian Wanzik about a bottomless bowl study. A group of researchers designed a study using self-refilling soup bowls. Half of the participants received self-refilling bowls and half did not. And the participants were instructed to eat the soup and did not know that the bowls refilled themselves. With those self-refilling bowls, the people that had the self-refilling bowls consumed 73% more soup than those with the normal bowls, but they did not believe that they had eaten more than the people with the regular size bowls. It's very common for us to eat based on external cues, meaning how much food is in front of us, versus listening to our body. So ask yourself, what does it mean to be mindful? Mindfulness is a non-judgmental awareness of your actions, thoughts, and feelings. It's being aware of what is going on in the present moment rather than thinking about the future or dwelling on the past. We could be mindful of our thoughts, our physical sensations, and our emotions. We could be mindful of our memories, desires, fear, words, images, our sight, our smell, our taste, our touch, what we hear, and then our emotions. We could look at our moods and our stress. Did you know we make more than 200 food decisions in a day, and most of which are automatic? Most we can't really explain. Many times we're eating while we're doing other things. We may be unaware of the taste of our food or how much we're eating or whether we're really satisfied or full. And this is called mindless eating. For example, am I going to eat breakfast? Am I not going to eat breakfast? Am I going to eat in the kitchen? Am I going to eat in the car? Am I going to have a bagel? Am I going to have a Pop-Tart? Am I going to have fruit and yogurt? There's all these decisions, and most of which are automatic. Why is mindfulness important? Because mindful eating is a powerful technique for managing your weight. When we're eating mindfully, it increases our awareness of the eating process and the pace of eating. It also helps us with our sensations of hunger, digestion, and fullness. And it also helps increase our awareness of what we eat and how much we eat. When we're mindfully eating, the benefits are we have greater control over our eating, greater control over the awareness of satisfaction and fullness, and we're more satisfied with our meals. This reduces overeating, binge eating, and snacking, and then the fewer calories in can result in weight loss. In your handout, there's an ask yourself, do you regularly plan meals? Do you set aside time for your meals versus eating while driving, watching TV, or using your computer? Do you snack and graze on available foods throughout the day? For example, in the office break room, snack on a candy dish. Do you eat quickly? Do you chew each bite of food fewer than 12 times? So the top two are great examples of some mindful eating behaviors, and the bottom two questions are mindless eating behavior examples. So let's talk about some mindful eating techniques. Make eating an experience. Really try avoid eating on the go. Your mind does not register the food you're eating as you're driving or as you're multitasking, and this often leads to feeling unsatisfied and hungry soon after a meal. Sit down to eat a meal. Eat at a table without clutter, light candles, play music, use good china and cloth napkins. And when you eat, really try to make that your only activity. Avoid multitasking and try and tune out the distractions. Plate your food in an appealing way and enjoy the occasion and the people you're eating with, and be in the moment with the people and the food. Enjoy the present moment. With each bite, try and be present. Recognize when your mind wanders and practice a non-judgmental attitude. Nothing you experience is good or bad. Look at your food before you start eating. Notice how it looks, the smells, the colors, the textures, and the shapes. And once you've taken a bite, set down your silverware and simply chew and pay attention. Maybe try aiming for 20 chews per bite until the food is small. And after you swallow, pause for a few seconds before you take another bite. Notice the feelings of satisfaction. Let's go back to that hunger scale and rate your hunger both before, during, and after a meal. Are we at a 1? Are we at a 4? Are we at a 7? Are we at a 10? It's a good exercise to practice as you're eating a meal. Avoid going too long without eating, and don't wait until you're famished to eat. Plan meals and snacks in advance. Slow down your meal. Take a few breaths before you start your meal. Try eating with your non-dominant hand or chopsticks. Maybe set a timer for 20 minutes and take your time while eating. Try and use smaller plateware, and it's okay to leave food on your plate when you're comfortably satisfied. Maybe bring Tupperware with you to the table to put the meal in Tupperware and put it in the fridge for a later time. Organize your kitchen. Let's place some of the healthier foods in sight. A fruit bowl, maybe bring home some fruit and cut it up and have it as soon as you open the fridge so it's the first thing you see. And try and keep the less healthy foods out of sight. Close them in your pantry behind a closed door or in your cupboards. Manage stress. Use relaxation and breathing techniques. Exercise, participate in your favorite activities, and find a healthy way to unwind at the end of the day, whether it's reading a book, taking a walk, or doing some meditation will help you unwind and manage stress. Find the right balance of how often to weigh yourself. Weighing yourself daily is an effective tool for self-monitoring, but you want to find the right balance for you to keep, so you're not obsessing about weight if you tend to eat in response to the numbers on the scale. So figure out what works for you. If you're going to weigh yourself, when you weigh yourself, you want to make sure you weigh yourself on the same scale at the same time of day. You wear the same light clothing or weight clothing. And remember, it's completely normal to have some fluctuations in your weight from day to day. But it's also very important to learn to think holistically about your body. Remember, the scale only focuses on the one aspect of your body, the number. Remember other reasons why we're going through with the weight loss journey. Are you able to walk up a flight of stairs without becoming shortness of breath? Are your clothes fitting a little looser? Have we had a reduction in our medications that we're taking? Do you feel stronger? Are you happier? So these two are other indicators of your success. Never eat anything you don't enjoy, and truly eat anything. Never eat anything you don't enjoy, and truly enjoy everything you eat. All right, now we're going to transition to the goal setting. Each class, we're going to set up 3 to 4 goals. Our goals are going to be written SMART goals. What I mean by SMART goals are they're going to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. One goal is going to be class related, one goal is exercise related, and 1 to 2 goals are going to be personalized. So these are some examples of class related goals. I will avoid skipping meals and eat at least 3 to 4 times per day, every day for the next month. I will control hunger by choosing foods with protein and/or fiber at each meal and snack. After dinner, I will find another activity to do, for example, reading, instead of grazing on available foods every night for the next month. I will eat dinner at the table instead of in front of the TV 5 nights per week. I will place less healthy foods out of sight and place healthier foods where I could see them, such as in front of the refrigerator, cabinet, fruit bowl, or on a counter on my desk. To take a couple minutes to figure out a class-related goal. These are some exercise-related goals. If you're already exercising, keep up the good work, but maybe add another day or increase the amount of time, or plan to maintain your current activity this month. If you're new to exercise, here's a great goal. I will blank whatever type of exercise for blank minutes, blank days of the week. Or we can incorporate some weightlifting and strength training into physical activity, blank days of the week. So take a couple minutes to come up with an exercise-related goal. As far as personal goal examples, these are things that you will learn in other classes, and these are things that we could start working on now to get ready to assist with weight loss and help get ready for bariatric surgery. I will decrease my caffeine carbonation intake by blank daily for the next month. I will drink at least 64 ounces of water or a beverage less than 10 calories per serving every day. I will limit fried foods to once per week. I will limit dining out to blank nights per week. I will increase my vegetable intake to blank servings per day. I will replace 1 meal per day with a recommended protein shake. I will take a multivitamin every day. I will keep a food diary every day to track my food and beverage intake. I will get a minimum of 6 hours of sleep per night starting tonight. So these are some examples of personal goals, and you could choose 1 or 2, or if something else is another personal goal that you would like to work on. Well, thank you very much for listening today, and we look forward to supporting you on your weight loss journey.